Essentially, this means that we have to go back to the drawing boards. And if we really talk about planning, it means that there are a number of factors that we didn't take into account initially, which need to be taken into account now. But I think most importantly is the extent to which the challenge has affected those that are the drivers of growth and development. And in this case, we're essentially talking about the private sector. Most of them starting from the mining sector. Well, you can cite the case of Mopani, but Mopani is only one of many mining houses that are going to be affected. It's not only the collapse of business, but the collapse of livelihoods for those that are dependent on those jobs. So it's a challenge. But I think what's important also to recognize is that the COVID came at a time when we were already stressed. How do we project growth this year? Depending on where you stand and the assumptions that you make, at the moment we will definitely post a minimum of minus 2%. The IMF, I think, they projected almost 3.5. The government, I think, is talking about 2.5. But really, we have not really geared down to fully appreciating the magnitude of the challenge this pandemic will do. Not so much in human loss, but you see, we are very lucky that the numbers of deaths, right now, how many? 4? How many are infected? Those that have been recorded, under 200. We are still talking about small numbers. The major problem is with the collapse of the economy because of a number of challenges that have emerged. Well, Zambia is rich with resources, including human resources, and I do not believe that we don't have the potential. The potential, if there's anything that we are so rich in, if you asked me, is the potential. Zambia has you and me, human resource, which is so important because ultimately the quality of our investment, the quality of our thinking, the ability to put in place an enabling environment for across the board, for all the sectors that need to grow, come from our mindset, our thinking capacity to take the right decisions and choices. So we do have that. But at the sectoral level, agriculture, literally anything grows in this country. We have the best climate, water resources, 35% of water resources in Southern Africa are here in Zambia. Anything grows. And we're not only talking about crops, but we are also talking about livestock. Whether you're talking about animals or you're talking about birds, you should be able to do it. I think what's important is for us to take the right policies and also to have people recognize that everyone has a contribution. But there must be an incentive that allows people to take advantage of these opportunities. And that, for me, is where we should focus on. So the question is, do we have this potential? The answer is yes, we should be able to, including navigating around some of the challenges that are associated with COVID-19. It's possible if you start listening to each other and talking to each other. At the moment, one of my concerns has been that industry and the government are not talking to the level that I expect them to talk. Because as a result, you fail to even better appreciate the side of the other. Industry fails to fully appreciate what government is saying. And government, most times, you could see, they hardly understand the challenges that are facing the private sector. And yet, it's all about dialogue. You don't need money to dialogue, do you? So why aren't we talking to each other? That's really something that puzzles me.